But you started Protestant, became Catholic, and then converted to Orthodoxy 10 years ago, something like that. What led you down that path?
I was raised Baptist, and by the time I was in undergrad, I was really interested in philosophy, so I was taking philosophy classes. I fell into the works of Greg Bahnsen and Cornelius Van Til, so I got really interested in apologetics, and I put a lot of years into that. I spent some time at Bahnsen Seminary, which is now defunct, but that gave me a really good grounding, I think, in debate. And so I really modeled my debate style after Dr. Bahnsen. When I was at undergrad, I ended up debating the professors because they're all atheists. But I thank Greg Bahnsen for that and God's providence, because I think I probably would have been brainwashed into the liberal education system had I not kind of grounded in his argumentation and style. But then when I was there in undergrad, you're questioning things. Where does the Bible come from? And I think the main question that really stuck with me was when I listened to a Greg Bahnsen debate Jerry Matitix, and they were debating the canon of Scripture, the role of tradition in the formation of the canon. And so that got me questioning church history. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to buy the church fathers. There's no other way around this. Saved up my wage slave paint store job paychecks until I bought that $1,000 church father set back in the 2000s. So I just started plowing through it. I had a lot of time at work to read, and I kept having these questions, and ended up having another Baptist professor at a seminary that I was attending later on, a Bible college technically, and I read City of God, and I took all of these questions that I wrote down from Augustine's City of God to this professor, and he was just kind of like, it was different back then. So I didn't really get significant answers to the question of formation of the canon and all that. And at that time, back in 2003, internet apologetics was it was all Protestant versus Catholic. And I got heavily into that. There wasn't a whole lot of resources, basically like Catholic Answers, and then a lot of different James White or Protestant type sites. So I got really heavily into Catholicism. And then after about 10 years of that, attending the Latin Mass, being very staunch traditionalist, I got kind of disillusioned with the Vatican. The deeper that I got into church history and Roman Catholic dogma, I just eventually saw it to be fundamentally contradictory. At that time, around 2007 or 8, I was wandering, and I found an Orthodox church nearby in Nashville, started visiting there. I didn't immediately convert because I had a lot of Thomistic and Calvinistic baggage still in my head. I wasn't ready for Orthodoxy. But I found it really interesting, and I thought, well, I'll start reading the Eastern Church Fathers. And several years later, it took me about 10 years to be catechized, right? Most people do like a 1-year catechesis. But for me, I was so spurgy about it. Like I had to have every single theological question answered. So I kind of went through all that, and gradually around 2016, 17, I decided to finally become a catechumen and enter into Orthodoxy. So it was a long road, but I actually think it's better sometimes to take your time.